big storm was now looming around the corner. It wasn't the one currently in the sky. 3 days later, at around 7 p.m., the 10th was still unconscious in the hospital bed, though improving every day. As part of the hospital protocol, Kitty no longer was wearing the grey jumpsuit, but a hospital gown. Where she's seriously burned were now banged up as well. Hope meanwhile was sitting in a room on a red metal chair nearby, hoping to see her come to and eventually talk with her. Unknown to the female mechanic, the 10th feline was relieving a ghastly nightmare, one that led up to our rival Mobius. The female cat soon slightly tossed and turned in her bed, saying with a soft moan, "No, stop!" In her dream, she found herself at Top HQ, seeing most of her fellow-comers tied up and taken hostage. This has been done by none other than the filed rat himself, Snaptrap, along with his entire team of doom henchmen, pointing lethal weapons at their heads. The only ones who weren't currently tied up were her and our closest friend Dudley, though they had their hands up in surrender upon order. Being incredibly brave, yet extremely foolish at the same time, Dudley attempted to play hero for the sake of his friends. Sadly, though, he would pay dearly for it. When he tried to ambush the bad dog from behind, and take him down with a strike at the back of his head in order to get his gun, it unfortunately ended in disaster. Dudley was instantly grabbed by the neck instead, and then flung finally towards the north into the next room. The second he hit the ground, his chest was abruptly thundered. Snaptrap ordered his men, "Enough of this nonsense! Give this mutt a violent object lesson for his defiance." Doom Team, who were all carrying laser-powered Tommy guns in their hands, quickly pointed their weapons at the currently stunned agent. Snaptrap then shouted at them a split second later, "Kill him now!" Before Kitty could even gasp in horror, they unloaded dozens of rounds at him. In the next room, instantly she ran towards the next room in a great panic, shouting with her right arm extending in front of her face, "Dudley, no!" Ironically, the Doom Agents did not immediately turn their guns on her. While she did this instantly, Snaptrap dealt with the tough agent promptly. Instead, when he quickly tossed a tightly wrapped 6-pack of lit TNT several feet ahead of her on the ground. Kitty sadly had a little time to react with it, having a quickly burning fuse. The only thing she could do after coming to stop was shield her face from the blast. Then a split second later, it finally exploded on her, spreading debris and fire to spread everywhere. Kitty not seriously took a big burn at the blast. She was quickly knocked several feet into the air and vertically out of it, disappearing into the bright sphere of light on the east side of the room. During that last part of our nightmare, the feline agent shouted again and again with fear and trembling, "No, no, no!" Hope meanwhile finally stood up and walked to her bedside, trying to see if she would wake up from her state of unconscious. Thankfully she would, though not in the way the young female mechanic would have preferred it. Now firmly grabbing her right shoulder, Hope tried to gently nudge the tent feeling awake, saying, "Miss Cat, wake up! You're dreaming!" Within seconds, Kitty Polly sat up in her bed with a touch, greatly alarmed. Huge bed of sweat soon began to drip from her face, now breathing heavily in a panic state. "Calm down, feline," Hope told her softly. "Don't stress yourself." Not surprising, her words wouldn't have at least helped at the least. Instead, Kitty saw someone was grabbing her arm, soon turning her head to look at them. Instantly, the tent feet wrenched away abruptly from her grasp, where she then slowly her razor-sharp claws from her right hand at Hope, demanding loudly in anger at her, "Who are you? Were you sent by your snap trap to finish me off?" Hope quickly recoiled backwards Let me repeat this again. Hope quickly recoiled backwards at her tone of voice, even taking a couple of steps back. Replying in alarm, "Miss Cat, I have no idea who you're talking about, but you seriously need to put those things away. I'm not going to harm you." Then why am I here?" Kitty demanded sharply. "Explain yourself." The female mechanic did indeed, though with hesitance, replying, "I'm Hope Kinderber. I'm a member of an elite fighting corps called G.U.N, here in Central City. And furthermore, I never heard this character Snaptrap before you mentioned him." Her explanation, however, did not satisfy the tan feline, and she still glared at the young girl, not trusting her one bit. Hope then added, now frowning back at her, "You know, you really need to stop snapping at me here. I just help save your life, and even convince the commander to let you recover in this hospital." Kitty now looked at her and arched an eyebrow, inquiring, "You saved my life? What are you talking about?" "You were unconscious in the park, cat lady," Hope told Kitty, placing her hands at her side, still frowning at her. You were really in bad shape when I first found you. You even had multiple serious second-degree burns on your body." She then added a bit sarcastically, "I believe I do some gratitude for going out of my way to help you, don't you think?" After hearing that, Kitty fairly softened up inside, and she soon retracted her claws, eventually replying with a solemn sigh while looking away, "I'm sorry, I just had something horrible happen to me. But I don't have the faintest clue what the aftermath of it was." "What do you mean?" Hope inquired. "Did it having something to do with that nightmare of yours?" "That was no nightmare," the tan feline told her, arching an eyebrow. "It really happened." "I don't follow you," Hope said. "You mind telling me what really going on here?" Kitty was now silent inside, as she answered with a sniffle and a tear in her right eye. "My best friend and partner Dolly was attacked with automatic rifle weapons." She then added with a long pause, "I don't even know if he's alive or not. Dudley?" Hope had no idea who this was, but remembered she was saying this name during her apparent nightmare. "You mean the same one from your nightmare?" "I told you," Kitty replied angrily at her. "That was no nightmare. If anything, I was reliving that past experience in a dream." I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense, the female mechanic said softly in her response. Anyway, tell me something. Is your name really Kitty Catswell? Strangely, the female... Strangely... Let me repeat that, saying... Strangely, the tan feline didn't even flinch at that question. Instead, she looked at Hope, with a blank expression on her face, blind awkwardly while trying to rack her brain. I don't think so. That is, I don't even remember my own name now. You can't be serious, Hope. Not surprised Foundness was hard to believe. She was inclined with skepticism. How can you not even know your own name when you clearly know your partner's? I really don't know why, Kitty answered softly, placing her right hand on her forehead while looking at the floor. I wish I knew. My mind can't seem to remember much of anything now. Hope at this point could only assume her frictional burns from her left side of her head could have something to do with her current loss of memory. She then walked over to her modestly charred jumpsuit and pulled out her ID from one of her lower pockets, asking after extending it towards the tan feeling, "Is this yours?" Kitty quickly took it from her hand and examined it thoroughly. Eventually saying softly, "This is my picture, all right," she added more firmly, "so I guess that really is my name." She then examined it even further. Then she soon saw the tough command and agent rank and qualifications. Hope had already seen it earlier. Asked her, according to your ID, it says that you are an Class S agent, and on the top of that, you are a martial art expert who were fluent in speech. Is this true? Is that true? Is that true? Not surprisingly, Kitty replied softly with hesitance. I guess it is. I'm not really sure. By now, Hope was fully convinced this feline agent really was suffering from some sort of memory loss. Kitty then commented. Let me repeat it. Kitty then commented with an arch eyebrow, looking further down her ID info. My claws are registered as lethal weapons? Wow, that's interesting. Why do you think I stepped back when you showed me them? Hope retorted with a frown. I wasn't about to take a risk with something like that. Well, while the tan feline continued to look at her ID, particularly Hope, asked, "Tell me, where do you originally come from?" Kitty quickly repeated her words back awkwardly. "Where do I come from?" Yes, can you tell me?" Hope inquired, with deep curiosity. Sadly, Kitty wasn't able to. Instead, she answered while shaking her head a couple of seconds later. "I sadly cannot. My mind is completely blank about it. As it turned out, the name of the city, Petropolis, was not listed on our top ID. Thus it remains a mystery to the female mechanic." Hope then asked, Well, what all do you remember from before? Can you tell me at least that much?" Kitty now put her hand under her chin to think, replying after a long pause. "Well, other than the ID info you just showed me, the only thing I can remember vividly is my partner's name, what happened to him, and the name of the villain who pose my team of agents.